Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's talk about Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson. I read a comment earlier saying that Errol Spence cherry-picked Lamont Peterson. Errol Spence cherry-picked Lamont Peterson. There's a couple of reasons why that's so funny. And we're gonna get into this whole history of Errol Spence video, okay? We're gonna do that right now. So, I don't even know where to start. Alright? But I can tell you this. It appears that Lamont Peterson was the only man with cojones to get into the ring with Errol Spence. Now, Lamont Peterson had an opportunity to fight Errol Spence previously, but he declined. Why did he decline? Well, back when Errol Spence was coming up the ranks, fighting eliminators, they were having a tough time finding an opponent for him. And, Lamont Peterson's name came across the desk and he declined to fight. And, a year and a half, 2 years ago, Konstantin Ponomarev also declined to fight an eliminator with Errol Spence. Now, the eliminator was for a shot to fight Kell Brook for his IBF championship, right? And we know how Kell Brook used to do. He used to fight nothing but bums, and he was always willing to defend his title against the bum. The JoJo Dans of the world, okay? But he stepped up, he fought Errol Spence, and he got put in a body bag, okay? He got the other eye socket broke, all right? Let's not forget history. Let's not forget about Kell Brook being one of the most feared welterweights, one of the best welterweights in the division, a guy who was dug by fighters like Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman never even brought his name up. Floyd Mayweather didn't even want to secure the IBF belt before he retired. The list goes on and on of people who didn't want to fight Kell Brook. Sean Porter, who was the IBF champion at one point, I'm assuming that Kell Brook was his mandatory, and he took that fight. He was the only one that really stepped up. But that's just, the Kell Brook situation, man. Kell Brook is still a top-tier fighter today, regardless of having 2 straight losses back-to-back. He fought Triple G, and then he fought Errol Spence. Got both of his eye sockets broken. So, what do you want from Kell Brook? Kell Brook's still an elite fighter, in my opinion. So, having that body bag on your record counts for something. It means something. You beat the welterweight that almost all the other welterweights didn't even want to mention. All right? Now, before Errol Spence even got that shot at Kell Brook, like I said, he had to go through the gauntlet. Not a gauntlet per se like, tough opponents, but they were scraping up opponents for him to fight because nobody wanted to fight him. He went through at least 8 opponents before he even got Chris Algieri in the ring, man. And then he disposes of Chris Algieri. All right? They downplay that. But up to that point, Chris Algieri had never even been stopped. Manny Pacquiao didn't even stop him. He knocked him down like 5-6 times in the fight, but he didn't stop him. Errol Spence stopped him. Then we have Leonard Bundu. And you're probably laughing. These guys aren't anything. These guys are bums. But you got Leonard Bundu, a guy that Keith Thurman fought, and he couldn't even get rid of him. He couldn't finish Leonard Bundu. He couldn't knock him out. What did Errol Spence do? He stopped Leonard Bundu for the first time in his career. Right? And then he finally gets the shot at Kell Brook. And before Kell Brook fought Errol Spence, he fought Triple G. He got, his corner threw in the towel, right? So it counted as a TKO victory for Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin didn't even knock Kell Brook down, but he did severely injure Kell Brook's right eye. Broke his right orbital bone, I believe. All right? So Errol Spence finally gets a title shot against Kell Brook, packs his bags up, goes over to the UK, goes over to Kell Brook's territory, beats him in his backyard, drops him in the fight, and stops him. Something no other welterweight had done. No other welterweight even wanted to fight Kell Brook. So he wins the IBF championship, right? So he's chilling. Errol Spence is chilling. He's trying to secure fights. He's trying to fight Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's scared to say Errol Spence's name. He want to fight Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman look at Errol Spence and he just looks terrified. He starts stuttering every time he gets interviewed about Errol Spence. You're telling me Keith Thurman's not scared of Errol Spence? He is terrified of Errol Spence. There was an interview where they asked him about Spence. What did he start doing? Stuttering. Fight one time a year. One time knockouts. One time. What are you talking about, Keith? You don't knock nobody else out. You haven't knocked anybody out in years. But Errol Spence needs to get his name up. He's got a world championship. Now, Floyd Mayweather gave you the opportunity to fight for one of his belts on his undercard to fight Errol Spence. You ducked him in. You've been ducking Errol Spence. I don't care what Keith Thurman's done in the sport of boxing. He's ducking Errol Spence. And when the time comes for Keith Thurman to fight Errol Spence, he's going to get stopped. Just like everybody else. He's going to get stopped. He's weak to the body. That inside game is going to kill Keith. He's going to get up against them ropes, and they're going to be dancing like a ballerina, getting hit in the ribs. And he's going to go down. It's going to be man down. And then that's going to be it for Keefy. Y'all call him Keefy Poo though, right? Keefy Poo fight one time a year. And y'all love him. Y'all love Keith Thurman. And he don't even give y'all what y'all want, which is boxing matches. We watch Keith Thurman for the boxing matches. Not because he's entertaining. Not because he's entertaining outside the ring. You know, he's a clean-cut guy, and I respect him for that, man. That's cool, but I'm not about to sit up here and praise a guy who fights once a year and fakes injuries. I'm not going to do that. Because then I'd be lying to myself if I don't point those things out. Fake car accident before the Sean Porter fight, then the elbow surgery, and you over in Nepal sparring with an injury, talking about you about to come back in January, then it gets postponed to March. Is it going to get postponed to June, Keith? You let me know. But Errol Spence tried to get Keith Thurman in the ring. Keith Thurman wants no parts of him. Then, let's look at Sean Porter. You know, could have had the opportunity to fight for a world championship, an IBF championship, a belt he's held before. But no, he's not looking to go that route. His daddy talking about, oh, we'll never fight for the IBF again because after we lost to Kell Brook, they dropped us in the rankings. Okay, well, you had a shot at fighting for that world championship and you could have got it back and you could have been champion if you beat Errol Spence, but no. You chose not to. You chose to fight Adrian Granados. And you know what Adrian Granados did? He worked you in that ring. And your hands broke from it. Talking about one day you're going to fight Errol Spence. Maybe, maybe not. All right? That's if Sean Porter makes that of a fight with Keith Thurman. Because I really believe Keith Thurman's going to knock him out the next time they fight. All right? But Sean Porter acting like he's scared too. Another welterweight that don't want that work. Then you got, what's the other guy's name? The guy from Australia. How did I forget his name? He's TBE. Jeffrey the Hornet Horn. This is a guy who just beat Manny Pacquiao in Australia. I feel like Manny Pacquiao won the fight. But hey, it is what it is, right? Try to get a fight with this dude. He called Errol Spence out. If you go to Jeff Horn's Instagram page, he got a picture of Errol Spence on his Instagram saying he could be next. But Jeff Horn's going to fighting, I don't even remember, Jeff Corcoran. All right? Who is that? He didn't want to fight Errol Spence. Do you really think Jeff Horn stands a chance at beating Errol Spence? No. He gets stopped too, just like all the others. Do you get where I'm going with this? Nobody wants to fight Errol Spence. How can he get his name up? How can he get these people on his resume if they don't want to fight him because they're terrified? They have bad dreams about this guy. I'm telling y'all, they don't want that work. Errol Spence is sparring middleweights. He's sparring the Charlo brothers. Like, do y'all get that? First of all, Errol Spence shrinks himself into 147, and he's coming in fight night huge. You're not about to hurt him. If Kell Brook wasn't able to hurt him, you think the rest of these guys going to hurt him? And then we got Terrence Crawford. This is another guy that don't really want to fight Errol Spence either. He really don't want to fight any of the PBC guys, to be honest. And I'm going to tell you why he's not about to fight any of these PBC guys. Because he's hiding behind Bob Arum. Bob Arum is not going to send Terrence Crawford out there to lose his WBO belt to one of these PBC fighters. They can all talk a good game, but at the end of the day, they don't want to fight Spence. Who has called out Spence? You could say Terrence Crawford, but he don't really want it. He's not going to set up a fight with Errol Spence. That fight's not big enough. Who else in the welterweight division? You know, Pacquiao definitely. You know, when Errol Spence's name came up for Pacquiao, what did Bob Arum say? What did he say again? I'm doing this from memory. If I recall, I believe he said Spence wasn't ready or he wasn't a big enough name. Knowing that when Pacquiao, little 5'4" Pacquiao, get in that ring with Spence, he gonna get his soul snatched out his body like Shang Tsung. It's over for him. I mean, y'all keep criticizing Spence, man. Like, it's not his fault that these dudes don't want to fight him. He's trying to make these fights. Shout out to Lamont Peterson because he's the only one that was man enough to get into the ring. And, you know, Carlos Ocampo and Konstantin Ponomarev were supposed to fight. Konstantin Ponomarev talking about he not going to fight without Abel Sanchez. But you really don't want to fight in that eliminator. You don't want to risk winning. And you don't want to fight Errol Spence. Just like you don't want to fight him a couple years ago in that eliminator. See, these dudes are ducking, man. They all ducking. They ducking, man. Well, and then what's the other critique? Oh, Spence should move up to 154. Why? Oh, Spence ducked Miguel Cotto. How? How did he duck Miguel Cotto? Why would he sign with Oscar De La Hoya for 3 to 5 fights? Or however many fights that contract was for? Why would he do that? You gonna kill Miguel Cotto before you retire, and then what? Who you gonna fight next? Who you got on this roster? Who? Like, come on, bro. Y'all just gotta stop. It's not even about people being fanboys. It's just the truth. Like, dudes don't want to fight him. Like, nobody wants to fight Spence. Lamont Peterson should give him a little trouble for a couple of rounds before he gets stopped too, man. But if Spence don't stop Lamont Peterson, if Lamont Peterson come out that fight looking good, that's not a good look for Spence. You know, Eddie Hearn said that it's ridiculous that after beating Kell Brook in the UK, he didn't get a fight after that. You know, I mean, you could blame PBC for that. They're not giving him no opponents. You know, nobody wants to fight him. Like, who wants to fight Spence? I mean, drop some names in the comment section. Who wants to fight him? Who's calling him out? That's all I really got to say, man. Errol Spence is the most feared welterweight in the division, whether you want to believe it or not. Whether he's got the resume to back up his skills or not, there's a reason why people don't want to fight him, because they don't want to get knocked out. They don't want to be in the middle of that ring looking up at them stars, looking up at them lights, getting embarrassed on TV like Leonard Bundu, getting embarrassed in front of your fans like Kell Brook in the UK. They don't want that work, man. It's simple as that. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video, I'm out.